Oh, hello. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you put me in the right direction? Let me know, because I'm worried that I think I might have a few little technical issues today. I do believe issues may be occurring, but we'll soon find out. Let's have a look. Is there anybody there? Is there anybody there? Hello, yes and yes. Yeah, I think there's some kind of issue with the sound quality. It's being very, very weird. That's all I can say. Being very, very weird. Quick change of glasses as well, I think. Well, when I say quick, actually, I don't mean quick, do I? These don't shine as much when the light hits on them. It is you, yes, Mandy, it is you. We can see that. Thank you very much for appearing. I don't know if there's going to be any noise in the background. There shouldn't be, considering I'm using a dynamic mic. But there might be, because there is a proper storm a-brewing outside. I mean, proper storm. I've got the window open because it's still warm in here as well, but it sounds really rough out there. A little bit Billy Goat graph. Casper, how you doing, mate? Nice to see you. Botrix has correctly joined the channel. I don't know what correctly means, but it must know itself, mustn't it? To be honest, it's probably the only thing that does know what's going on with Botrix. It is a very, very strange thing. So how are we doing? Are we alright? The same storm system is over there as well, as it, Casper, doing what it does best. Being very, very noisy, very windy. It's bin day tomorrow, so everyone's put the wheelie bins out, and the sound is sounds like some of them are getting blown over, or some of the stuff from inside is getting blown out at least. I'll have to have a look before I go to bed later, just make sure that the lid is still on and whatever's in there stays in there. But yeah, I suppose we can't really moan, considering where we are in the North Atlantic. It's always bound to be a bit windy and a bit wet and wild, but we don't have bad winters, so no need to moan, I don't suppose. Speaking of moaning, how are we doing, guys? Goedenavond. Yeah, speaking of moaning, Jess will not be in the chat. I had to drop her off at college this morning, and she said, when you pick me up straight away, no messing around, and take me straight home. Because she's going to a concert tonight. She's going to see 5 Seconds of Summer. It'll be the second time she's seen them. I think her mum's taking her today. So I shouldn't be getting any interruptions, no phone calls asking for lifts, because she'll be in Liverpool. You had a sunny day, had we? I think we had a little bit of sun, but it was just a bit moody. It was windy all day long. And well, obviously it's dark because it's night, but it just looks a bit shady out there. Like it's the proper end of a storm. Normally you can see them, can't you? The light is completely different when it's a storm. I don't know if you've noticed that. There's a weirdness to it. It doesn't look normal. I don't know if that's the atmosphere, whatever's in the storm clouds, but it has a different quality, the light. It looks very, very eerie. You can't really pick it up either on camera, but to the naked eye, you really can tell that it's a storm. And of course, ours is the one that battered the whole of the eastern seaboard in the US. So now we're getting the back end of it. So it's the World Animal Day today, is it? I did not know that. We've got a house full of animals, but they all walk on 2 feet. We used to have a dog, and when we had to get it put down, that was the most horrible thing. So I don't think I could face having another pet. Horrible. Kirsty, how you doing? And the day is down by 6 hours and 6 minutes here today in Denmark. It's weird. The whole of Northern Europe is so strange. How quickly it gets dark. How quickly the evenings roll in, but also how long the days are during the summer, and weird long days during the summer, long nights during the winter. And of course, I suppose if you're in Sweden, Norway, Finland, anywhere a little bit further north, you just get all day every day, followed by all night every night. It's just bizarre. But we are very, very high up on the globe. Lots of potatoes. Moldovan potatoes. Wonder what they taste like. Yes, Kirsty, be careful with your foot. Don't be volleying anything outside. Be very, very careful. Hi to Botrix as well, Kirsty. We'll see what kind of mood he's in today. He seems to have been in a bit of a shitty on lately, hasn't he? He's definitely logged in. He said hello earlier. Good. Make sure you do rest your foot. It's a horrible part of the body to hurt. Really is. I've done mine a couple of times in the past, and it's just, you can't do anything. You can't put your weight. You can't get comfortable. It's horrible. Yeah, Casper, the further north you are, the more extreme day length varies. It does. As I said before on one of these streams, my mate is an avid runner, a marathon runner, and he went to do the half marathon in Iceland, the land of the midnight sun. And you said it was so strange because you knew your body was telling you it was midnight, you were tired, but you wouldn't be able to tell. It looked like it was just daytime. So strange. I don't know how your body clock would ever get used to that. But I've never had to do shift work as such. I know my mate did. He did permanent nights, and it's ruined him completely. 20 odd, 30 years, whatever it was, of doing nights means he just can't get used to working days now. Very strange. Chips would work better. Jelly beans, I've got some in the car, by the way. I always make sure that there's a couple of bags in there just in case. If I need to placate Jess or Ewan, they're in there just in case. Casper, give me a place and I shall tell you the hours to decrease by. That is a very, very niche talent to have. That's, by the way, that's niche, not niche. I was trying to watch some YouTube stuff earlier on, and as soon as the lads started talking about it being in your specific niche, straight off, I can't be doing with that. Hate that. Niche. What a stupid way of pronouncing a word. Shift work is definitely unhealthy. It was bad enough just working in the pub, opening at 11 o'clock in the morning, waiting until 4, coming back on and probably about 9 o'clock and waiting till 1 in the morning, but staying awake till 3 or 4, having a drink afterwards. Even that was bad enough. It messes with your hormones. I didn't realise that. I know it messes with your sleep schedule. Didn't realise it messes with your hormones as well. That's a strange thing, that. The body must know what the body needs, and when it's not getting it, it will complain. Yes, Mandy, I have eaten. You don't maintain a physique like this without eating. Everyone in work seems to think I don't eat. I never see you sat at your desk munching away like all everyone else in work does. No, I get used to eating at the right times, or eating at the same times for myself. And also I don't moan if I'm a little bit overweight. There's people in there who are crying about how much weight they've got on and they can't lose, and then they'll be sitting there eating a bar of chocolate the size of an iPad. So come on, either stop moaning about it or get off your arse and do something. How do we know the snack drawer hasn't been filled? I ended up, I don't even know what I did. I was pissing around doing something anyway. And then before I knew where I was, it was like 7:10. I thought, no, too late to be going to Tesco. That will have to wait until tomorrow. I've got enough drinks at least to keep me going tonight. Me alcohol-free red wine, which is working wonders. But I will need to get some bits and pieces tomorrow. Definitely snacks. Although I did have a few mint imperials earlier, which I've not had in years, and they are very, very, very tasty. Just not too filling. But saying that, when I sent that message in the RDA earlier on, I had my tea not long after that, and it really did fill me up. Heavy tea, man. Heavy. Yeah, bar work is all hours. If you live there as well, it's it can be quite confusing. Obviously, you don't get to go home. You get to go upstairs where you live, but you're listening out constantly in case there's a noise. If you're breaking of a window during the night or footsteps on like the raised areas, it's horrible. And having to go downstairs when you know there's people in there, that was I never used to like that. That's when the dog used to get thrown in first. As much of a lunatic as she was and dead nice and placid, she seemed to know when you needed some protection, she'd be in there. In Sweden, it's 7 hours and 47 minutes shorter. That's ridiculous. That's a full day in work, that, isn't it? And yes, I have jelly beans in the car, so if need be, I can go and steal them and replace them. I wouldn't really be stealing them, would I? They're my own thing. I paid for them. Yes, yeah, your circadian rhythm isn't meant to shift around. I don't think anybody's is. That's the whole point of it being a rhythm. Your rhythm is the same all the time, or near enough the same all the time. If it's constantly changing, you don't get in that rhythm. You'd had 2 pubs opened at 9 and shut at midnight, Monday till Friday and 2 o'clock on the weekend. That's not too bad if you can get used to doing those same hours. Of course, the pubs that we had over here used to open for sort of daytime drinking, so 11 o'clock in the morning. We'd have, in fact, we used to get them earlier than that at times. When we had the pub in Halewood, the Ford factory, which is now the Jaguar Land Rover factory, was just down the road. So on a Sunday, we get the night shift coming in after they'd finished at about 8:30 in the morning. They'd have a few to drink, we'd do bacon butties for them. Then we'd open the pub, and then you'd have to close at 3 on a Sunday back then. But all the lads who played Sunday League football would come in after that and would lock the doors and let them have a few beers. Then we'd open up at 7, and then when you finish, you'd have a drink with the staff and all that. So you'd have a stay before, a stay between, and a stay behind. It was the only way you could make money, really. Man, a little bit of a 90s Euro pop. Nothing wrong with a bit of 90s Euro pop, but it depends on what it is, I suppose. I like, remember the indie band from Scotland, Biss, did a song called Euro Disco, which was a pastiche of it, but it was probably one of the best Euro Disco songs out there. Fantastic song. Oh, I can imagine Casper with the having to do extra night shifts and day shifts and then all messed around. I know my sister and my niece both worked in nursing homes, old folks' homes, and occasionally they'd have to do the shift where they covered overnight, because there's got to be someone there who can dispense medication. Yeah, that absolutely messes with you. Knowing you have to do one every few weeks, just, I don't know how you get used to that. I don't think you can. Which is why the shift work that I used to work, say I opened the pub at 11 o'clock, when I started working where I do now in an office, my shift work was given to me was 11:30 till 8 o'clock. So it was like going from one job straight into the next without any change at all, apart from the fact that it was straight all the way through. I didn't have to come back on later on, but I like it. It's a time that suits me. Even now when I'm working from home most of the time, I still don't start till 11 o'clock and I work till about 7. Much better. There's loads of box music from the 90s and we don't really hear it anymore, do we? If you stay away from the late 80s, Stock Aitken and Waterman, and then stay away from the Swedish power pop, the factory style music of sort of the mid to late 90s, there was some decent stuff. I'm quite glad as well. Like I say, Jess has gone to the 5 Seconds of Summer tonight. We are going to see Noel Gallagher, even though I will quite happily say how overrated he and Oasis are. It's a step in the right direction. It'd be nice to go and at least hear some songs that I grew up with while my daughter's sitting next to me. I'm looking forward to that. Hiya Steve, how you doing, mate? Yep, brand new tip for. I don't think any hats suit me at all, but I'm sticking with it. I don't care anymore. I was never a hat guy until the stroke, and now I'm going to try and see if it takes off. I never thought I'd wear a baseball cap, and I seem to be doing that more and more these days. We talked about smocks as well, didn't we, in the last stream? I've had confirmation that my new smock is arriving before the weekend, before the match on Saturday. So hopefully I will be gambling down the Gladys Street, looking very much like Liam Gallagher. Well, limping like Liam Gallagher on Saturday. Which I'm not looking forward to, obviously, because we keep getting beat. But it'll just be nice to be able to sit there without being freezing cold and looking fairly cool. An Australian bush hat, it would, because it'll have corks that cover my face. Anything that covers my face, it's always a good idea. Steve, yes, it is. It is very much a blue smock. If you've ever seen the film The Heroes of Telemark, Kirk Douglas, that's the kind of smock it is. It looks just like that. I was trying to find one and I never could. And then last week I got an email from a clothing store that I follow, and it had these smocks in. I thought, that's just like Heroes of Telemark. So I treated myself. I deserved it. Balaclava. That's the only thing I could model, really, isn't it? If I was ever going to be a supermodel, I'd model balaclavas or oven gloves. A beret. I don't think I get away with wearing a beret. I think I had a fellow who worked in our place, who's no longer with us, unfortunately. He used to wear pink polo shirts and a beret, and it really does take something to carry that look off, and I think he did, to be honest. But yeah, I think you've got to be something special to wear a beret. Either a paratrooper or a French artist, or just a civil servant from Liverpool who doesn't give a shit. So maybe I'm halfway there. No, Mandy, it is not a Demis Roussos kaftan. It is exceptionally cool looking, and you will see it. I might also be wearing jeans for the first time in just under 4 years, which is a bizarre thing to be saying. I bought 2 pairs just before lockdown and never got around to wearing them because I was just wearing shorts around the house. And on the few times I was going into the office, throw a pair of cargo pants on, because you can carry loads with you. And then of course me brain exploded. But yeah, I'll be wearing, I think, the jeans. I wore me Adidas Stan Smith with the Velcro. I wore them yesterday for the first time. I've got hundreds and hundreds of pounds worth of clothes that I've not used, just because what happened last year. No, it's not elasticated waist. Nor do I need it, Mandy. Despite the fact that I have piled the weight on, I am still wearing the exact same size clothes that I was wearing when I was 14. Same waist, same shoe size. Occasionally buy a double XL top rather than XL, but that's because I like it a little bit baggy at times. This is still an XL. Going very, very... this is from Cuba with the red star on it, so obviously it's very, very left wing, isn't it? I loved it in Cuba, so when I seen this, a company that was selling direct, yeah, got to support the Cubans, man. Still having vision of mange. Elasticated waist, that's the future. It might be, but not for me for the time being. Yeah, normally it's just me joggers or shorts in the house. When I need to go out, cargo pants. You can fit loads of stuff in them, can't you? Put your keys, wallet, which apparently is one of the most uncool things on earth in Liverpool. I was surprised to find that out. All these young lads, if you've got a wallet, you're a Tory or a busy, you're a copper. So obviously, none of them work in an office where you've got to have a parking card to park, a card to get in the office, a fuel card, your Tesco club card, your bank cards. You've got loads of them. You can't just carry them around in your pocket with your spare change. Not good. So I will always have my wallet. Although, yeah, you get your phone now, don't you? I've been doing that to the point where I couldn't find my wallet the other day because I hadn't used it in about 2 weeks. Everything's on me phone, my season ticket, my Tesco club card, my bank cards, all on my phone. Isn't that fantastic? Yeah, you don't want the elastic to break. And you can't make extra holes in the elastic, exactly. Casper, you should do the lottery, mate, because that's an incredible piece of deduction. Yes, I am. A codpiece and buffalo shoes. Could you see it in my eyes? By the way, the name of this particular stream, Statistical Kowalski. Do you know where that comes from? Do you know the name Joe Blogs? In the UK, we use it for, just some random person. Just a normal man, just a regular. Americans, what did they say? Joe Sixpack or something like that. Just some random Joe Blogs. Could be anyone. Well, apparently there are names for that in different places. These are the English translations of those names. But in Slovakia, they're known as Joe Little Carrot. In Sweden, Average Svensson. In Mandarin, in China, it's known as Wang Number 5, which sounds like something completely different. In German, Otto Normal Consumer. Danish, Name Namesen, or Name Nameson, or Naven Navesen, what it says here. In Russian, it's Mid-Range Vazia. And in Polish, Joe Blogs is Statistical Kowalski. And as soon as I heard that, I thought, that is a perfect name for an indie band. So, I'm a guitarist, I'm a songwriter, I'm a singer, I play bass. I have a keyboard, which I can't really use even now. But I've got recording software, I just can't use my left hand. When I can, I am going to start recording some of my many songs that I've written over the years. And I will be releasing them under the album might be known as Statistical Kowalski, because I like that idea. You are just a Statistical Kowalski. So if that's not right in Danish, then I'm going to go back and blame this idiot. And we'll check whether or not honourable mentions are Jan met de pet in Dutch, John with the cap, is that correct? Just an average person is Jan met de pet. In Brazilian, it's Jé de Couvish, which is Joe Cale. In Irish, Taj and Vargish, I think it is, Timmy in the market. And in Finnish, Tavan Taleya, ordinary stomper. Just, it's bizarre, but I can't even begin to read these actual things in their own words, because for a start, Mandarin, it's just two symbols. Russian, it's written in, well, I don't even know what that's written in. The Russian alphabet is just, you can't even guess, can you? But Statistical Kowalski, that's where it came from. Okay, so Jan met de pet, it is a phrase maybe then that is a bit like Joe Blogs, but I'm sticking with Statistical Kowalski. Cyrillic alphabet is just, it makes no sense at all. I don't suppose the English, or not even the English alphabet really, is it? Is it Greek? What do we call it? I don't even know what we call it. Yes, it does sound like a character in Red Dwarf, doesn't it? Statistical Kachansky. But I also, which is quite odd, but I've got, did I put Kowalski as one of my little videos that I made, me AI video, Kowalski's Revenge? Was it Kowalski? Yeah, but I like that anyway. I thought it was a good name. And And I was listening to some music in the car this morning when I dropped The Spare Kidney off at college, an album by Alex Pester, who's a guitarist and singer-songwriter from Bristol, I think, young lad. I think he's heavily influenced by people like Nick Drake, John Martin, people like that, acoustic, gorgeous, gorgeous sound. Henk and Ingrid. Danes don't have a word for please. Papa don't beg. But he does got a brand new bag. The only Danish I know as well, I think, is pass po, isn't it? For is that watch out or be careful? Which is weird because in Dutch it's pass op. So it's just 2 letters turned round. Steve, I'm starting to sound like Kev. But come on, to be fair, Statistical Kowalski. You know, it's great. But yeah, you know what I am? I'm sick of not being able to play music. I've been doing it for years. And then not doing it for years as well, which is where the pain in the arse is. When I've had the opportunity to do it, I've not bothered. There's always something else to do instead. And instead of doing things like that, lyrics and chords and what have you, I should have been playing more music, and I should have been doing it a lot more since my daughter started playing. Because it's the kind of thing that she doesn't know how to write music yet. She's just learning how to play. But even when I first started learning how to play, I was writing. It was something that was in me that I needed to get out, even if it was bloody awful. And a lot of the stuff that we did to begin with was absolutely awful. But we were doing it, we were playing it. That was the whole thing about it. I've got a cassette, which has got some of the music on that me and my mates used to play. Like I say, some of it was utter shite. But listening to it, I get such a buzz from listening because you can hear there's excitement in it. It's 3 or 4 lads, all mates together playing, enjoying the sounds that we were making. And there was quite a lot of noise. But I'd like to be able to do it now. I've got a bit more of an idea. Well, I've got a week coming up, man, but I still can't use my left hand. So I can't play guitar. Once it's working, I'm going to buy myself a bass. I've got a musical interface. I've got 3 bleeding laptops. How stupid is that? Laptops coming out the wazoo. So I can make one a specific music one, I suppose. The keyboard, I know how to make drum loops. I've got a proper Singists microphone, not just a USB, but a proper Singists one. So hopefully I should be able to record some decent stuff. That as well, the Shure SM57 rather, is a very good mic for recording acoustic guitar. So if need be, I don't need to plug anything in, I can just record it as it is. I don't get frustrated with it, or don't get too frustrated with it, but there are times when I'm sick of being sick, and just this morning was one of them where, why can't I just go home and play guitar for half an hour? I don't want much more, just let me have a game, just, write something or play something bloody awful, just to myself, but I know it will come back eventually. Yeah, I can put a bid in for Daniel's bass, or swap it for a load more British sweets. I don't know why I haven't got one, to be honest. It's a shame as well. The instruments I've had over the years that I've let go. I bought a Les Paul copy. It was only 50 quid back in 1988 from a cheap shitty second-hand store in Runcorn, which is the proper arse end of nowhere. But it's one of the best guitars I've ever played. I don't know who made it, but whoever made it was skilled. My mate bought a Rickenbacker 4002 copy bass because we were all obsessed with Chris Squire from Yes. And I played that a few times. I love the sound of that. So if the lotto comes in this week, even though I can't use my left hand, I will be going out and buying loads of instruments and a place to put them in. I'll see if I can get my daughter involved in writing and recording music. She can sing a bit actually. Even when she was very, very young, she always knew how to catch a tune right. Seemed to have a good ear for it. Danish words sometimes have two A's. Yeah, Aalborg and Aarhus. It's just, language is so weird the way two places next door to each other can have such different languages. Photographer Society accidents decided toxicity herbicide Russia cancellation service. That deserves a John Peel gif, doesn't it? And on tonight's programme, Photographer Society accident decided toxicity herbicide Russia cancellation service, making a louder noise. Why did he always sound brummy when he's from Birkenhead? Such a strange voice. You've got the SM58 but no cable. Cables are cheap enough. I do have spare cables. That is only a small one, but obviously I need a longer one for this kind of shenanigans. But a small one for if it ever needs to come in front of a guitar amplifier. An SM58. I looked at them, but I've seen loads of stuff on YouTube about the SM57 being ideal. Only cheap as well, so I'm quite happy. Other Scandinavian countries have about 20 vowel sounds, you've got about 40. That says a lot. I like the complexity of language shows huge imagination, which I think is one of the reasons why English is so ridiculously complicated, is because it's developed over the years and it's a language that's developed into a poetic language. It's stolen from other languages around the world, especially Europe, but we have developed to such a point where it shows great imagination. So if your language has lots of vowels or phrases and weird ways of saying things, it just shows imagination like that. You also have at least two meanings to every word. That sounds very European as well. I think there's a few places like that, isn't there? No, I don't mind that. Kirsty is trying to level up by cheating. Don't want to use those words because Botrix can read this stuff, you know. He's very, very sentient. Don't know what he's doing so far. He has changed his wording as well, hasn't he? Points make potatoes. I think he got it wrong because whoever is the human behind Botrix was too tired to write it right. Oh, shattered again today. Struggling to get my words out. Steve, it will sound poetic when you speak it, mate. That's the good thing about the whole of the UK. Everyone can be poetic. We swear better than anyone else in the world. There's a poetry to that. And if you working in building sites or working on construction, no doubt you have a poetic turn of phrase when you hit your thumb with a hammer. Banish banners, believe Psycho Barbie. Now that just sounds like a headline, doesn't it? Sounds like a day-to-day Chris Morris headline. Gift means being married and poison. There's a good phrase that my nan used to have. My mum's only small. And my mum used to say, good things come in small parcels. And my nan used to say, yeah, but cyanide comes in little bottles, which I think is a lovely little way of pushing it back on them. I do like that. Kirsty, pick a song. Mandy will join in if she knows it. You will know all these songs. Say it has over 60 meanings. That's just crazy. It's like the Inuit with the 7,000 words for snow and no word for postman. Ours are God-based swear words. Yours are more Satan-based. I think that's probably the yin and yang, isn't it? We're both on different sides of the same seesaw when it comes to those. Psycho Barbie. Tim Burton's directing the next movie. Now you see, I'd watched that. Oh, and I got round to watching Asteroid City last night, the new Wes Anderson film. which I've had for ages and never watched. It was very good. Well, I liked it anyway. I know Wes Anderson is very much a Marmite filmmaker. You either love him or you hate him. Really, really do. I personally love all that stuff. Hugely into cinematography. I love watching his films and Peter Greenaway. Any Peter Greenaway film I love seeing. The kind of films that you could stop at any moment and take a screen print and you could hang it up as a piece of art. I love stuff like that. I know Peter Greenaway had I think it was a Japanese cinematographer or a Korean cinematographer, one or the other. It was absolutely amazing. The colours that you can drag out of a film set is beyond me. And when you add Michael Nyman's music on top of that, I'm sold. I am sold. Alpha Satan, Hela Hula Helveda is what you say if you stump your toe. I like the Billy Connolly, the one that he says you don't hear anywhere else in the world, which is Jesus suffering fuck. Well, he's an absolutely perfect a little trifecta. And it makes me think, whenever I hear them said that, Nuno Espirito Santo, who's a Portuguese football manager, that to me just sounds like that's what a Portuguese carpenter would say if he hit himself in the thumb with a hammer. Like, Nuno Espirito Santo. Plus on his coat that they have, you've got your football badge and you've got your initials over the top, he's got NES. So of course, yeah, Dean Smith for Norwich with DS and then Nuno Espirito Santo with NES. So it was like the console wars. Kraftedema is a swear word. Oof. It sounds a bit like Gofredema. How do we? Yep. You see, cut if you stub your toe. Yep. It is the most versatile swear word in Dutch. I occasionally do shout could ding, which I think I've mentioned before, haven't I? Because it's very, very fit for purpose, and then other people around here don't get annoyed by it. Dean Smith is a swear word. Yes, I've heard that from my mates at Villa Park as well. Not many people speak very highly of him. Was it Brentford he came from originally, where he did his best work? Yes, we have other swear words as well, and one of them is strongly taking flight at the moment with me is Deich. Why did I say Deich? Huan Deich. Horrible. Nick me in here in Danish football terms. I don't know much about Danish football, but I did have a pair of Nestved socks back in 1983, I think it was, given to me by Mikael Birkedal. He was a Danish international who lived over the road from my dad. They were green Hummel socks. I'd never seen Hummel before, and I absolutely loved them. I don't know whatever happened to them, but they were just the coolest footy socks on earth. So I always looked out for Nestved's results after that. Stupid, innit? Why do you follow a certain team? I had a pair of socks. You're an idiot. Yes, I know. Yes, Klopp wanting the replay. He's an absolute dick, that man. Everyone loved him when he first came over. Just thought he was dead cool and got on with things and knew what he was talking about. He just turned into one of the most horrible, bitter pieces of shit of all time. Hummel is a big brand by now. Yeah, they make Everton's kits at the moment. I think we're about to change to Castor, or Castore, whatever it's pronounced. But we've had Hummel for the last 2 years. And they've made some good stuff. I love me Hummel Everton away shorts, which is a weird browny grey with pink on the sides. Really, really gorgeous looking things. Mandy's never going to give someone up by the sound of it. See, a Rick roll doesn't work unless you get Rick's face popping up. I might be able to plugged that into the Stream Deck at one point. Never know, maybe I was a Rick Roll Laurier. District Oak Woodworkers Beyonce Netflix work packet. I have no doubt in my mind that if Beyonce worked for Netflix, she'd be worth a packet. She would earn her money. District Oak Woodworkers. That does sound very American, doesn't it? Like they've just been unionised. The District Oak Woodworkers. Hummel made Cities kits in the 80s. Yeah, actually, yeah. I do remember that, yeah. You once found a pair of Hummel boots. You were over the moon. We did have Alan Ball, the genius of a footballer, and again, one of my dad's heroes, who played for Everton Jordan in the 60s, who used to wear white Hummel boots back in the day when everyone wore black. It used to stand out. I mean, everyone wears whatever colours they want now, silver, gold with pink on and all kinds of stuff. Everyone wore black, so to wear white, that was quite a statement back in the day. So I quite like Hummel. There's a certain coolness to them. They're unusual. Plus the Denmark kit they made in 1986 was gorgeous. They made our third kit this year to look a little bit like a combination of the 1984 Everton away kit, which was grey, and that 86 Denmark kit, which is sort of half and half. Very, very nice looking kit. The young kids don't like it because they've got no idea where it comes from. And our lasses like me absolutely love it because it is two of the best kits. The away kit when we won all kinds, and then that Denmark kit from 86. So I like it. As do a lot of my fellow old folks. And Mandy, if you're going to start singing, get your SM58 out, get it plugged in. Let's hear you. Let's have a Wednesday night karaoke. Ow. My back's still sore, by the way. I had to give up on the cocodamol because they were sending me loopy. I've gone back on me pre-gabbling, but I think I might have to have another cocodamol later to allow me to sit straight. This chair doesn't help either, heap of shit. I'm sure it was put together the wrong way round. Just can't seem to get it into a comfortable position. You're off, Kirst. Thank you for coming. Take care. Look after your foot. Chill. Make sure it gets better. We don't need any more messing around with that, do we? It needs to be healthy. The Hummel boss is on the Danish Lions Den. I did not know that, but it makes sense. Obviously, there's a massive this chat should be called out the subject alternative football before long. Yes, you do have to take into account I am the son of a former professional footballer. I went to my first game when I was only months old, and I've been going ever since. It's sort of baked into my system, into my soul, to be honest. It's difficult to get away from at times. And so much that it's difficult to get away from. When I finish this, I've got to go and tidy in the front room a little bit up, because Bernie Slavin, who used to play for Middlesbrough, is coming to do a podcast with me dad in here tomorrow. Well, not in here, in the front room next door. So my little end, my part down the bottom of it, I need to just tidy some bits and pieces up and put them in here out the way. Which I should have done anyway, but it's difficult to do one-handed. So I'll be doing that when we finish. Yeah, it's bizarre this. He's been filmed in here for all kinds. He's done podcasts. I've been doing this. It's turned into a proper little multimedia centre. He thought he was doing it all over the internet as well, and Bernie said, "No, we'll turn up. We'll come and see you. Should be fun." Aga do. Oh no! Don't be throwing black lace at. Oh, actually, that sounds wrong, doesn't it? Don't be throwing black lace at people. Yeah, Bernie went to his testimonial game, and my dad played in the old folks game before, and at the Riverside. That was an interesting day out. I enjoyed that. Good fella as well. and absolutely still loves not just the club but also the town of Middlesbrough. He's a good ally for the place, and the place needs it. So it's nice when you've got the likes of Bernie Slavin standing up for it, and Bob Mortimer, of course. There should be more people standing up for that place. It is not just an ICI Chemicals Works with a town attached to it at all. Casper's going to counter with singing Schubert, the Lyman. I like that. There's a nice bit of culture going on. Black Lace to Schubert. Schubert mentioned in MASH the other night. No, I don't think it was. I think it was Shostakovich, was it? Bach. Makes no sense to anyone who wasn't watching it, but there you go. Yeah, I need to do more TV stuff, don't I? I said I was going to do that. Have a rant about some TV stuff. I miss me comfort in familiarity. I am missing Red Dwarf, apart from the fact there's two American actresses who are reacting to it at the moment called the Gallifrey Gals, and it's funny watching them just for the first couple of episodes of Red Dwarf not having a clue what was going on. They're obviously heavily into sci-fi. They're probably expecting just a normal straightforward sci-fi show like Star Trek Next Generation or something like that, and all of a sudden this popped up. You know, a Scouser, a hologram, and a cat, a male cat. They had no clue, but they seem to be absolutely betaken with it now. As well they should be. It's a great idea for a show. The Odd Couple in Space. I miss watching that. I do find comfort in that. I did mention this on Sunday, didn't I? I haven't. Gallifrey, they're Whovians. It's not very nice calling them that. If you want to be with plenty of men, they can be. Oh, Whovians, Doctor Who fans. Right. Yes, I think they might well be, but they also they were doing Star Trek reactions and other stuff. So I think they seem to be heavily into a lot of sci-fi. I think from having a quick read, they're both actresses as well. So I think they were only doing stuff like this because the actors' strike is on, and they just managed to stumble across something that they both seem to absolutely love. And like most reaction channels, it's nice when you see someone who actually likes what they're reacting to. Seeing EB absolutely buzzing off Still Game at the moment is just as enjoyable as watching the show for myself. Because I've been watching that for, well, when it first came out, we were waiting for the next series to come out. Me and the ex-wife used to watch it together. That's how long ago it was. And me and her split up in 2007, I think it was. So it's sort of predates that. And then just seeing EB buzzing off it, that's fantastic. How many Danes live in the UK? 32,000. I did not know that. I know one of them, just one. Jan Sørensen. He lives in Walsall, I think it is, in the Midlands. He managed them for a while, loved the place so much that he stayed. And yet, bizarrely, he's not come up and my dad's not gone down there and met him when they were best mates together. He needs to change that. They need to go and meet. It's strange because the goalkeeper from FC20 turned up. I just knocked on the door one day and my mum answered. I said, "Oh, is Billy there?" And the 6'5" goalkeeper. My mum went, "Tayo, was that you?" "Yeah." Went and got me dad, and just bizarre. Wasn't expecting him. Big, huge galoot. Woesterjak. Big Jan. Yeah, Jan Mulby. Good lad him, actually. I think my dad said on one of the parties that they had with the Vriendenkring at FC20, the people that had all the money. Jan Mulby and Jesper Olsen were there, and Jesper Olsen drank a little bit too much and threw up in the fish pond. That one never made it through to the papers, but it's just one of those little things that's what I remember him for. But Jan was a top fella. He seems to be, even now when he's over here, all the Reds love him. Another one who's bought into the city, not just the football. Likes it. So does Razor Ruddock. He seems to like the sort of Southport area. I know quite a few lads have been out for a drink with him. He seems to like a game of golf and then the 19th hole in the park or the Crown or something in Birkdale. You know what these footballers are like. Any excuse to go and play golf. Anyway, let's quickly go and check somewhere else. Kipper's Corner. Let's see what's going on. There we go. Emotional support alligator denied entry into baseball stadium. Fans were surprised to see an alligator turn up at the Philadelphia Phillies baseball match with its owner, Joey Henney. They said they were going to go and meet the players, but will have to go another time. What a load of rubbish.
Kippers kicks ass.
And Kipper says, grow up, dick splash. I think, to be honest, he's right with that one. What is it with these emotional support animals? If you need emotional support, take a human. What did someone try? Someone tried to take a pig on a plane, didn't he? An emotional support pig on a plane. For fuck's sake, just grow up. If you need help, you need help. You don't need to be taking alligators. Exactly, Casper. They prefer lawn bowls. It's a much more sedate atmosphere for them. It's stupid. And yeah, of course, Steve, only in America. It is slightly Florida manish, isn't it? Even though it's Philadelphia, it's slightly Florida manish. It's bizarre. I don't get this emotional support shite. Obviously, there are people that need that little bit of help with them. Just take someone with you. Is that the other way around? Maybe that's what it was, Hadwi. Maybe it was the alligator going to watch the game and you have to take an emotional support human with them. Would they be allowed that way round? Would that make a difference? Thought they liked Snap? Well, they do have the power. Mad. Those alligators are not to be trusted. When we got to Cuba, funnily enough, the resort, as I said, it was the last resort on the island on Cayo Guillermo. Lovely, lovely 5-star resort. Stunning. We went to have a little bit of walk outside the front gate and see what it was like. And one of the fellas was, I wouldn't if I were you. And then told us about a massive, huge alligator that lived just up the road. That used to like to walk down to the hotel. We try and chase it away. What do you mean you try and chase it away? Don't try, succeed. Don't want that thing turning up in the swimming pool when I'm trying to have a game of volleyball. Sod that. They're massive. We went to an alligator farm, or one of these places where it's like a zoo for alligators, but a little bit of conservation going on there as well. The ex held one up. Horrible, cold-blooded, scaly thing, and she was holding an alligator. I'm only joking, she was sound. We get on well now, you know what I mean? Don't go grassing to her. Jess isn't watching, I thought I'd get away with that one. Yeah, but scary, scary, scary things, them alligators. Bloody size of them. And then when you want to stand up and jump, they are massive. Crazy how far up they can get. I don't want to be banging into one of them at 3 o'clock in the morning when I've been on the rum all night. Do or do not, there is no try. Yeah. If at first you don't succeed, parachuting is not for you. I've never seen the Python Cowboy on YouTube. Is that sounds like a male strip thing, doesn't it? The Chippendales Python Cowboy. No. I'm presuming that's with lunatic snakes. That's another thing. I don't get people who like having snakes. Those massive things. You know, the ones that, oh, he likes to lie down beside me every night. Yeah, he's measuring you up. And as soon as he's big enough to eat you, he will eat you. They're not pets. They're evil things. Lunatics. Just get a dog, man. Simple, isn't it? Dog or a cat. Something simple. You don't want to wake up in a snake. Wouldn't do anyone any good, would it? Especially if you got that little bit of a phobia, being trapped spaces, bit of claustra. Don't want to be doing that. You have grass snakes, and they can be 140 centimetres or over 4.5 feet long. No, 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 no. He goes to a place called Snake Island to catch the things. Well, to be fair, he's smart then, isn't he? If you want to go and catch snakes, Snake Island, I would think it would be the best place to go and check. Does he lasso snakes or use snake as a lasso? Or both? Will you use one snake as a lasso to catch other snakes? Or how do we get dog has the surgery tomorrow? Oh, good luck with that. Is that the one that you had the pictures of on Instagram? Looking all happy until he realised where he was going. Oh, plate removed from the leg. Let's hope it goes well. It's always horrible. I don't mind. I don't mind. It sounds stupid, doesn't it? If you or one of your family have got health problems, or you break your leg, fair enough. You can take pills for it and just deal with it. It always seems to be worse when it's an animal. There's not much you can do for them. You can try and give them as much comfort as possible, but what you do with a dog who's not feeling well? You can't give it ice cream on the sofa and watch films with it, can you? Yep, fingers crossed, thumbs held, and whatever it is, all the places. Ah, poor thing. And dogs are so loyal as well, aren't they? You always want to make sure that they're all nice and happy and healthy and looked after. Going to keep us updated, that's great. We'll send positive vibes in Lego's direction. Hopefully it's all gone well. Casper, your gran once gave a dog a bowl of cornflakes. Should have been Rice Krispies, really, shouldn't it? Snap, crackle and pop. There you go. There should have been a dad joke thing, shouldn't there? There should be a watch out dad joke, dad joke, dad joke. See what else there is. Horace's haikus. My name is Horace. What do I do in the woods? You don't want to know. Hoo-yah! Well, there you go. Culture. Cultcher. Culture. You're not going to get that anywhere else, are you? That level of highbrow poetry from a stuffed bear. And he's right. You don't want to know what he does in the woods. No good can come from it. Yeah, they call it piff, paff and puff. You're not allowed to say that anymore, unfortunately. It's weird though, isn't it, how things are called just completely different stuff all around the world. That's where we ended up with GIF. It had to be changed to SIF. And people over here were going mad, going, why can't it just be called GIF? Because in different parts of Europe it'd be GIF, GIF, YIF. It just wouldn't be the same thing, whereas SIF is the same all over Europe. And piff, paff, puff. Piff, paff, puff, that was the great Soprendo, wasn't it? The magician who was married to Victoria Wood. Sure that was him, wasn't it? Piff, paff, puff. If anyone's watching who knows that, let me know. If it isn't, I don't know where that's come from. A piff or a paff? A pilaf? Yeah, the Pope kills him out in the forest. As the saying goes, does the Pope shit in the woods? It was, yeah, the great Soprendo, I knew it was. Is it Jeffrey Durham? Yeah, I'm sure that was. That's come from a part of my brain that obviously wasn't damaged during Operation Desert Stroke. Plus, I think there was something on about her not too long ago, probably about 5 or 6 months ago. UK Gold must have had a Victoria Wood night, and she was in a documentary where he was living with her, obviously. Being married, he would do. It's a shame about Victoria Wood. Far too young. Although I always find with Victoria Wood, she treads the same sort of lines that Alan Bennett does. For me, they're always straddling that line of they're trying to make it sound so natural that it sounds almost unnatural. It's too natural. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but they've got to be really careful because they put too much effort into having the right type of biscuit to put into a line. At the end of it, you go, nah, they worked too hard on that one. Hang on, what's going on here? Botrix, you absolute lying bastard. Jeff, my arse. Not having that. Not having it. First of all, got these bears ganging up on me and now Botrix. No bad. Yeah, Jeff. Jefe, more like it. Mexican cartel leader. What are you doing rewriting things without even telling me in the first place? This is the kind of shit I'm up against. Oh yeah, look. Oh, trying to be nice now, are you? Yeah, don't think we haven't seen that. Jeff can piss off. Oh, and is Botrix not showing up his little icon next to his name? It's not showing up on my screen there at all. Peace and vibes after that outburst. How can you have peace and vibes after that? You haven't got him tied up in a box or something. Alright, now you see, as soon as you mention his name, yeah, the little his little logo pops up. He'll always be Jeff. He was Jeff when you met. He'll be Jeff till the day he gets deleted off this bleeding internet. Well, while we're here, let's check the loyalty. Loyalty. Jeff doesn't know the meaning of the word loyalty. People are still getting points. Mandy the 1975. My daughter would be pleased. Another band she likes. Yes, Jeff, listen. Get back in the basement. It could be Jeff Durham. Piff paff puffing, getting in the middle there. It has to be Botrix to get the logo. Bot just stays bot. Jeff from Peep Show was Jeff the Scouser in Peep Show? Can't remember, I haven't seen it in such a long time. Neil Fitzmaurice, who was Rave On in Phoenix Nights. Jeffrey Dahmer's ghost. Yeah, you wouldn't want to go in Jeffrey Dahmer's fridge, would you? Yep. Well, he's not a Scouser, let me tell you that now. He's from Kirby. But yeah, Neil Fitzmaurice. Fitzy. Funny lad, him. Jeffrey from Rainbow. That's the one. Wasn't it a story about him in one of the newspapers, probably the Sport or something, about him working in Tesco or something, stacking shelves. And it was all over the news because it was Jeffrey from Rainbow. Obviously, he needed to have a job after he finished interfering with bears and what have you. Oh, yep, Steve has levelled up. Brilliant. People are getting points. Points make potatoes. We need to be remembering this. We need to remember this all the time. Points make potatoes. And whoever it is who's making your clothes, Jeff the meth, get back in there and get sewing, lad. Making Jag Nikes. Jag, by the way, is a Scouse word for fake. In case you ever hear it. Don't know where it came from. Jag. Bizarre. Again, we have our own little language in Liverpool. Very, very strange. All done deliberately so the police don't understand the word that you're saying. And they turn up on mountain bikes wearing Hugo Boss tracksuits. Just the most obvious coppers in the world. When you get to level 70, make sure boiler suit, as long as that boiler suit isn't orange, you don't want to be getting waterboarded by Jeff Bottrix, whatever his full name is. Easy to say fake. Yeah, but can't, unfortunately. Fake is a fake word. Jag is the real fake. Or something like that. I have to remember sometimes as well, because I just get too carried away, not to use huge amounts of Scouse dialect, because not everyone understands a word I say, obviously. I mean, yous do alright. It's got 2 zips in the front for full frontal access. That's the kind of boiler suit that you need to stay away from. Or they were the kind of boiler suits that they used to wear in the 1980s, if you were a Blitz kid. Yeah, don't be needing them, mate. Don't be needing them. There was a good documentary about that, actually. It was on a couple of nights ago. I think it'll be on again fairly soon. It normally is. About the Blitz kids, all those ones that were in the clubs in London during the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. Spandau Ballet and Adam and the Ant and all them lot. The whole Steve Strange, Japan Visage, all that gear. Crazy, crazy time. To just suddenly go from what would have been, I don't know, glam rock and roll and punk to just dressing like pirates and Arabian princes and what have you. It's a strange, strange turn to take, but very interesting. Loads of bands came out of that same little scene. Of course, Duran Duran coming out of the Rum Runner in Birmingham. You wouldn't have thought just a load of lads from a random club in Birmingham would suddenly take over the world, but they didn't do too bad, did they? And Duran Duran, fair play to them. Very, very good musicians. I mean, John Taylor to this day still pisses me off because not only is he one incredibly handsome bastard, but he is a supremely talented bass player as well. If you ever see his YouTube channel, he goes through, it tells loads of stories obviously about Duran Duran, but he will show you how to play his bass lines and give you a little bit of detail behind how he wrote them or how he recorded them. Very interesting, and also shows you just how good he is. Incredible bass player. Great sound as well. In fact, I might, yeah, that's what I'll do. Might do a couple of videos on my favourite singers, favourite guitarists, favourite bass players. For no other reason than I can. I like that. Just make stuff for myself. And if anyone else watches it, then fair play. As good as Mark King, it all depends on your viewpoint. I can't stand Mark King's bass playing. It's just, for me, he's a one-trick pony. Very, very talented at playing slap bass, but not hugely impressed with that myself. And also, so a lot of what you do with slap makes it sound more complicated than it actually is. There's a few guitarists who do stuff like that. I've had my daughter going mad about someone being dead talented. Look how great that sounds. That's a piece of piss to play. It's cheating. That's just doing little tricks to make yourself sound better than you actually are. You can play, but a lot of it is just change it. Play something different. Play something a bit more simplistic. Mark King is no Chris Squire, and he's no Tony Levin. I'll say that. I'll tell you that for free. I never got to see Chris Squire live, unfortunately. When I saw Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman and Howe, it was just yes, really, without Chris Squire. They had Tony Levin playing bass, who's my second favourite bass player of all time. So I was lucky to see him. And I saw him when he was playing with Peter Gabriel as well. So I've been lucky to see my second favourite bassist twice. But unfortunately, Chris Squire, no longer with us. I will never be able to get to see him play, and it is something I will always be a little bit sad about. Man, do you like the Bill Bailey take on U2? I haven't seen that. I was thinking about making a U2 video as well, because I think people give U2 a really, really hard ride at times. And the people that normally have a go at them about them being shit, I asked them, have you heard the first 3 albums? No. We'll go and listen to them first and then come back and tell me how bad they are. Because the first 3 albums by U2 are absolutely fantastic. You might hear people talk about, we say, have you heard New Year's Day? Oh yeah, I've heard that, I like that. Or Sunday Bloody Sunday. Oh yeah, I like that as well. So we'll go back and listen to the first 3 albums when you were still hungry young men, quite politicised, and before Bono thought he was the second coming of Christ, which, to be fair, he is an annoying little gobshite, isn't he? But, you know, fair play, they have written some fantastic music. The first 4 albums are great, the first 3 especially. Even the Joshua Tree, which I think was the 5th album, wasn't it? I didn't like the fact that he went a little bit country, but there's still some good stuff on that. But the first 3 especially, Boy, October and War, 3 fantastic albums. And if you see them live at Red Rocks, which was the Under a Blood Red Sky tour, or got made into the album Under a Blood Red Sky, brilliant live as well. Yeah, Steve, I like anything with Bill Bailey. I like the fact that he's just out there on his own, and wherever he's been in as an actor, just, yeah, I'll just be a little bit different to everyone else who's on screen. Brilliant as Manny in Black Books, and also when he was in Spaced, was he Bilbo in Spaced, wasn't he? Bilbo Bagshot. Absolutely brilliant. Him and Simon Pegg work great together. Plus he is a fantastic musician, Bill Bailey. Funny, but genuinely really talented with every instrument. A true musical polymath. Yep, the music up to the Joshua Tree was superb, wasn't it, Steve? Like I say, people don't give them a chance. Which, again, was why I'm pissed off as much as I am with Coldplay. Rick Beato did a series, I think it might have been, great songs by bands you don't like, and one of them was Coldplay. And he was saying, I don't understand why people don't like them. So, well, it's because Coldplay is music for people who think that vanilla is a spice. And the first 2 albums by Coldplay, the Parachutes and was it A Rush of Blood to the Head? I can't remember off the top of my head. 2 really good albums. This is a band who's going to really push forward and do some interesting, complicated music. No, they've just gone on to copy and paste absolutely everything, and with a stupid bleeding falsetto and his twatty little t-shirts with the stupid little pricky arms. I hate it. Yes, I keep changing hats to make your life difficult. That's exactly what it is. I might change them constantly through the stream just to annoy you as well. If I can't talk about football, I will wear as many hats as possible. There you go. In fact, I'll do 3. It'll be a hat trick. Click on Dad's joke. Yeah. Yeah, but the whole thing with Coldplay as well was they were around at the time. That's the likes of Radiohead, Super Furry Animals, Divine Comedy, Supergrass. All these bands were pushing forward and trying to expand constantly, and they've just copied and pasted the same stadium sound for every single album. I'm still convinced they sort of work along the same route as the Stereophonics. And again, I've mentioned this, and I truly believe this. The Stereophonics have released the same album every couple of years with different artwork, and nobody's noticed. It's just the same album of songs, the same songs constantly. And it gets to the point where I think Coldplay are doing the same. And it's pissing me off. Really pissing me off. They have got great music in them. There's no doubt about it. But they need to push themselves a little bit more than being, as Kurt Cobain said, radio-friendly unit shifters. Plus, I seen a documentary on them, and they've got the fifth member of Coldplay, which is the manager, and he's an absolute knob. He should be called Nigel. If his name's not Nigel, he should be called Nigel. Floppy-haired gimp with cotton traders rugby shirt on. Yeah. I'm the fifth member of Coldplay. Yeah. Someone that you'd love to smack senseless every time you see him. I'm not on my soapbox, honest. But I hate that when it's quite obvious that bands have got something in them and just don't push it. I know Elbow are not everyone's taste, but I like the fact that they will try and push things. They will try and do something that's a bit anthemic, or Guy Garvey's writing northern poetry, which he puts in music. Why work that hard? People would buy it. It's fine. You can do that. But what everyone seems to do is they start with the hard stuff and then work down to the easy. And it shouldn't be that way. Radiohead have been brilliant at it by starting off where they could have done the same album like Oasis did time and time again. Just that, the same stuff that people with bucket hats will buy in the billions, and then go and play your stadium tours. But they went and pushed it as far as they could, to the point where a lot of fans are going, what is this? I've got no idea, I can't work with this, I can't deal with it. But loads more people went, yeah, I love this. You are at least pushing things. I love listening to people who make things complicated. The Beatles started off, they could have done Please Please Me and I Want to Hold Your Hand. Just done the same thing over and over again, and they would have sold millions and millions. But they moved forward and started writing stuff that was far more complicated. Rick Beato again did another video that I watched the last couple of days. What is the Beatles' most complex song? And obviously I love the Beatles, and he mentioned Something, written by George Harrison, Penny Lane, Strawberry Field. I knew straight away what it was going to be, and it was I Am the Walrus. And he just showed you why it's so complicated and the harmonic context to it. I thought, if you're going to go from I Want to Hold Your Hand to I Am the Walrus, that shows a band who are genuinely trying to push the envelope and are growing. But you don't see that with Coldplay. It is literally just get to a point and then think, keep repeat. It will sell by the billions, but how do we? Tired? Well, thank you for coming. I do appreciate it. And I can imagine you've had a really busy day. Hopefully you sleep well today and study tonight. And Lego will be sound tomorrow. Everything will go well with the vet. Good luck tomorrow and keep us in the loop. Welterusten. Yeah, Steve, I saw the new venue that you two opened in Vegas with the the Doom screen. That was at the Sphere, it was called, wasn't it? That looks insane. I know Vegas is just, money's no object, or taste is no object at times either, but that looks like an absolutely incredible place to go and watch gigs. Whoever you go and see there, if they don't make the best use of it, they're falling short. That you should be able to make something that will stick in people's minds forever. I think anyone in any form of art should push themselves. There's nothing wrong with being simplistic either. You can simplify things, but if you can make things a little bit more different, it doesn't have to be complicated or complex, but a little bit different, where a bit more effort has gone involved into it. Just again, the Beatles, when you listen to some of the more complicated songs and look at where they came from just a couple of years before, and the increase is just off the scale. To go from something really simplistic, 4 to the floor, simple chord structures, really simple lyrics, to go into something super orchestrated, complex timescales, complex rhythm and meter, melody, counter melody, just absolutely everything thrown in there. And it's you push yourself to the point where, how far can we go? I don't see why, as a musician, you'd want to keep on just doing the bare minimum. I know, like you say, Mandy, you can make money out of it, but it's like a boxer. Do you want to be the world champion, or do you just want to make a few quid? Getting punched in the face occasionally. You want to push yourself and go as far as you can, see where it takes you. If you're not good enough to make it to that real top, at least you've had a go. The same with the music. Can you make something that's genuinely out there, just pushing yourself to maybe beyond your limit? And if you can, did it work? If it didn't, you can always look at the album and go, right, we had this idea and we tried it. It didn't sell, or the critics loved it but the fans didn't. So at least we've got that body of work, but then we'll roll back on it slightly and give the fans what they want, or we'll keep on doing what we want and hope that the fans catch up at some point. I like listening to music at times that is a bit difficult. If it makes it difficult to listen to music, or it takes effort to listen to, as much as I like stuff in the background as well, bit of chilled Ibiza style, that dance music, the stuff that you listen to when you're coming down at 6 o'clock in the morning. As much as I like that in the background, or ambient, Aphex Twin, or Orb or something, I also like things that really do challenge me. I think that's the best way to be. That's the best way to learn as a fan as well, not just as an artist or a musician. It's like going to the gym. You've got to keep on doing the reps. You've got to keep on pushing that weight to get bigger and get stronger. I think the same with music as well. Keep on pushing yourself to the point where sometimes it's a little bit difficult, but by the end of it, you'll have learned something. Keep pushing, man. Keep pushing. It might depend on the label you're signed to, but with bands the size of Coldplay, they might be on a label that would like them to sell billions, but they're worth that much money. They can probably say to their record label, don't worry, we can do what we feel like, and the money's there to pay for it, and our fans will buy it in the droves. But you never know, it might open them up to another level of fandom. I'd go for it all the time. If it won't sell, it won't get made. Well, stuff does get made that doesn't sell. And a lot of stuff will get made simply for artistic reasons. Normally by bands or people who've got a good few quid behind them, or a bit of cachet. You can say to the record company, this is what I want to make. If it fails, then fine, it fails. The back catalogue will continue to pay for everything going forward. And again, U2 are one of those bands, if they decided suddenly they wanted to become something completely different, their record label would say, yeah, go for it. Because we're still selling album after album for your back catalogue. We're still raking in billions on the back of you. Go and do what you want. And then eventually stop moaning and do what we want if it doesn't sell. But you don't know until you've made it. That's the whole point, I think. Push yourself. Possibly also the reason why I don't like country music so much. Even though I know a lot of people like that simplistic approach. So no, I've learned to paint with colours. I don't want to go back to just black and white. I want to see more colour. I want to see more depth. And there's nothing wrong with a bit of black and white now and then. But when you've had that entire palette in front of you, it's hard to switch off. Use all the colours, man. It's going very hippie, this, isn't it? Use all the colours, man. Been going back and listening to more 90s stuff as well. Just because every time I get in the car with Jess, it's an opportunity to play something that she hasn't heard. So I do like that. She stopped calling it dad music, obviously, because all those times of calling the Arctic Monkeys and Oasis dad music, and now she loves them. Lesson learned. But yeah, I'm trying to think what I played lately. I was listening to Elastica earlier on. A little bit of Elastica and then Salad. Yeah, the Arctic Monkeys, pretty much the same there, Steve. Yeah, their last album wasn't liked as much as the previous ones, but it still sold in absolute droves. But they made the album that they wanted to make, and to be fair, my daughter loves it, and a lot of the mates who are Arctic Monkeys fans, they love it as well. I don't think it was as highly rated by sort of the general buy-in public, or I don't even know. Did I read the reviews were a little bit mixed? Some people obviously still expect them to sound like teenage lads from Sheffield, which the first album I absolutely love. They're not going to be the same. It's obviously not going to be the same. But I think they've fallen foul of their own. I don't know. Don't want to say popularity, but on the first album, that Fake Tales of San Francisco, you're not from New York City, you're from Rotherham. And then he come out on stage at Glastonbury doing a fake Elvis voice, like he was playing, what, ridiculous. Like he was the king, with his hair all in a quiff and brill cream back like an absolute knob. Obviously they are going to grow, but I don't know where his voice has come from now with that drawl, mid-Atlantic drawl. But that's the problem that you get when you've had when you say something like that. You're not from New York City, you're from Rotherham, and then go on to do exactly what you were railing against when you were 19. But push yourself. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. As I said before, always regret the things you did do rather than the things you didn't do. Nothing worse than being retired, or in their case, just playing the lounges at Las Vegas nightclubs or wherever, casinos, thinking if only we'd have done this, if only we'd have tried this. To give it a go, man, to give it a go. I can't listen to them too much, to be honest, nowadays, just because he really does annoy me. Even though I like the Last Shadow Puppets, I like that stuff a bit more. And I'm getting a bit more cantankerous in my old age. I want more. I want to listen to stuff, like I say, that really does challenge me or sounds different. Things that occasionally it'll hit me ear and it'll jar great on me and go, right, you need to really listen hard to understand what we're trying to do here. It's not to everyone's taste, that, but it is to me. Plus I get most of my enjoyment now from sharing stuff with Jess. If I play something and she likes it, it's like the job done. I'm yet to get her into prog rock, which I think might be a difficult sell, to be honest. I don't think she's ready for that. Don't think she's ready for 28 minutes, multiple movement, lunatic songs about nymphs and fairies and what have you. That is definitely a hard sell. But you never know, I might get there at some point. I wasn't into it when I was young. And then all of a sudden I was. It's nice getting lost in a bit of prog. When a song takes 28 minutes, there's a lot to get involved in. A lot to unpack, a lot to understand. Especially if the whole thing's telling the story as well. Which is why some of my playlists sound bizarre. There will be a 28-minute prog song followed by a 2-minute punk song. Makes no sense, especially when you're listening to it. If I've got it on in the car, someone's listening on why. I don't understand what you're trying to do with this mix. It's not a mix, it's just, this is what I was listening to at the time. And I haven't put it in an order, just I listened to this, I added it to playlist. When you do listen to it, it is difficult, but still I think it's worth it. Push yourself. Make yourself feel uncomfortable. It's the way it should be. Oh, anyway, I'm rambling, so I'm starting to get tired now, obviously. I need to start clearing stuff up so that there's a bit more room for Bernie and his cameras tomorrow. So I'll have to start wrapping up. I need to go and check on the bin as well and make sure it's still there. Never know, it might be in Canvas, might be in Kansas by now. See, that's what goes on when you're knackered. We're not in Canvas anymore. You did, Mandy, you forgot to chat. But apart from the fact that you kept jumping in occasionally with a little bit of Rick, bit of Black Lace, and some general knit chat. See, even Botrix is trying to tell you, keep chatting to earn points. You've been warned. Have you added any points today? Let's have a look. Well, you have actually, so you're doing alright. You must have been saying something. The yellow ball. Where is he? Is the moon, by the way. That's the thing I was holding in me pick on RDA, me avatar. But I like that. I must admit I do like that. Obviously I like having stuff like that on me moon and aurora, watching telly with that on in the room, nice and chilled. It really does help. You have some nights where I'm a little bit, my head won't turn off at all, it just carries on going and going and going. So I need to have something that zones me out, and it's the star projector, chill tunes, the moon in the background. Yeah, it does look like something from Lord of the Rings. Manly Botrix does like you, but he's in a mood today. You have got loads more points, so you can stop moaning, right? Definitely got more points. In fact, most people seem to have got more points. Jess hasn't, obviously, because she's too busy dancing in Liverpool at the moment. Jeff. You would prefer Jeff, wouldn't you? I don't like Jeff. Don't trust Jeff. Don't be like Jeff. Jeff's a grass. Jeff's dodgy, man. Don't trust him. Do not trust him. He's not the right kind of stuff. He's not the right kind of chap. We don't need people like him in this operation. Jeff can piss off. Horace needs to have a slap. I don't really want to argue with Kippers because he's violent. He's especially when he's had a couple Kippers. Not good. Jeff's funny. Jeff doesn't do dad jokes. Only I do. Thank you for the cheers from the dad jokes. Yeah. Anyway, need to go and get myself a glass of alcohol-free wine. Isn't that wonderful? Something to look forward to. I'll start clearing this shite up. It's just... What's my blood pressure testing machine, a wicker basket full of work stuff, and some CDs, boxes full of CDs. Don't slap Horace, he's only little. He's getting punched, never mind slapped, he's getting punched in a minute. Constantly interfering in my streams. Who does he think he is? Coming over here with his haikus. His highbrow haikus. Nothing highbrow about shitting in the woods. He doesn't deserve anything apart from a slap. RH. You've all got points. Steve's levelled up. We're all doing all right. We have jelly beans too, so we're doing all right. He's adding a bit of class. Not really. Well, maybe he is. It's not going to take much to add a bit of class to this, is it really? I thought I was as well with the hat, but obviously not. It's all about Horace. Devastated here, man. Don't let him in the toilet. You can't touch his streams then. Yep. When he's looking upstream, he's looking for salmon. That's the problem. And all he finds is a cod's head. Terrible behaviour. Fair play to him now. At least he's having a go, isn't he? He's pushing the envelope. He's pushing himself outside his comfort zone. Which his comfort zone's normally lying on the bed watching the telly. Scratching himself inappropriately. Don't cross the streams. Never cross the streams. Never ever cross the streams. Wise, wise words. Words to live by. The hat is a bit Mickey from Only Fools and Horses. It is a little bit, isn't it? I should have money that I can put underneath it. Yeah. I don't mind it. I'm obviously not going to wear it in public. Or rather, I'm not going to wear it going to the match, should we say. I might wear it in public, but I think it needs a little bit of a bit more dressed up than I am at the moment. When it gets a bit colder and I'm wearing me long black wool coat, I might look a bit better with that on then. I think I might even pair it with the long black coat. I've got a blue silk scarf with white polka dot. See if I can carry that look off. I might do. Don't cross the sandwich either. Yeah, might get there, but I think it looks alright. Good for it's good for rim feeling, rim touching, which other ones aren't. I still wear my baseball cap normally to the match though, or when I'm out, because it looks a bit more normal on someone my age. So it's just weird, the hat thing. Like I said, I've never really worn hats because they don't suit me. And then, since I come out of hospital, I just don't give a shit at all. I'll wear hats, never touch the rim, unless specifically allowed to. If you're given the go-ahead. Yeah, so, sandwich under the hat like Paddington. Alright. Yeah, I don't think a marmalade butty under the hat on top of the hair would be that good though. Don't want to be doing that. Don't want to be eating something that's been underneath my hat, on my head. Nah. Bloody Paddington, Peruvian immigrants coming over here. That's you kippers. Yeah, anyway, this has dragged on far too long, hasn't it? Thank you very much for joining me. I've enjoyed that. I need to go and do some clearing up. And do you know, it's stupid. I'm desperate for a drink. It's non-alcoholic, but I'm desperate just to go and have one of them. There must be an issue, I think. I might have problems. But as long as it's not alcoholic, I'm alright, I think. Watch this space, you never know, do you? Yeah, go and get ready for Bernie. Slaving to the rhythm. I thought he's coming here till about midday tomorrow, so hopefully I will have dropped Jess off and I will have come home and actually had me porridge. I missed that today. I like having me porridge and blueberries. Sets me up for the rest of the day. And I've missed out. Terrible behaviour. But I did have a nap and I think I needed that more. Yeah, so remind me tomorrow, fill up the snacks. We need to have more snacks. More snacks are needed. I'll have to go on a snack attack. Anyway, cheers, and I hope to see you in the next stream, which will be Sunday. And I'll need to try and find a name for that, don't I? Something that is going to be as good as Statistical Kowalski. I'm still buzzing off that. That is definitely the name of the first album. So, bonne nuit, welterusten, gute Nacht, het is er a bit la. Night night.